Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Favi, and welcome to Arrows DIY. On my channel, I like to do Dollar Tree DIYs, high-end dupes, thrift flips, and the occasional trash treasure. This is another episode in my Christmas series, and I'm super excited to show you some woodland theme tier tray decor. Like I said, this tier tray decor is inspired by the woods, the wintry forest, the creatures, and the organic natural elements within. If you are new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Favi, and I do lots of unique home decor on a budget. If that's something you might like, please consider subscribing. This is part of the Christmas decor challenge, and let's get started. For DIY number 1, we're going to be remaking these squirrel salt and pepper shakers. I got them at the Dollar Tree. All of my items today are from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to give it a little bit of a makeover using these little poinsettias. I hope I said that right. So we're just going to take this little bouquet that I also got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to pluck off all the little flowers off of the stem. Once I pluck them all off the stems, I'm going to take them apart. So I'm going to remove the back piece that keeps the flower together, and I'm going to disassemble the flower completely. Next, I'm going to take my little detail scissors and I'm going to cut right through the middle of this flower. Next, I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm just going to adhere half of this flower following the curve of this bodacious squirrel. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, being careful to follow the curve of that squirrel's body. Next, I'm going to take apart all of the other flowers the same way I did with the first flower. But I'm going to keep the flower together this time, and I'm going to hot glue the entire flower on the left side, the left bottom side of the tail of the squirrel. So I'm not going to disassemble the flower. I'm just going to pluck off the back piece and snip that little tail so that it lays flush with the tail of the squirrel, the surface of that squirrel tail. Alright, so then I go ahead and I do the same exact thing to the other side. I'm going to speed through this because, well, we just went through it. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then the last flower I'm going to put right at the top of that tail. Now I do something a little different for the second squirrel, but I'm curious to know which one you like better. Do you like this style of poinsettia tail on the squirrel, or do you like this next one? I think it's so fun. Very Christmassy and woodland for sure. So now that I finished decorating the squirrel with the dead eyes, now I'm going to do the same thing to the flowers, but this time we're going to cut all of the flowers in half after we disassemble them. So once they're all disassembled, we're going to start like we did on the other squirrel. So we're going to use some hot glue and we're just going to follow the curve of this curvy squirrel. We do the same thing to the other side as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull back the poinsettia petals, and we're just going to hot glue the half of that flower behind the first half we put on. And we're going to do that on both sides. And we're going to continue this step until we reach the center of the tail. Try to keep the next flower as close as possible to the flower before it, so that you can't see any of the tail once all of them are hot glued on. Now for the top, I just took the smallest half and I put it like so. Now it was getting kind of rebellious and they weren't really laying flat the way I wanted them to lay, so I do have to fix it in a bit. But first we're going to take the center of the poinsettia flowers and we're going to hot glue them. After we snip off that stick at the back, we're going to hot glue them to the center of the half flower, just giving it a little bit of a finished look and a sweet little decorative feature. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. And we're almost done with this little dollar store upgrade. So we do the same thing to the other squirrel. And now they're kind of looking like special pieces of decor. Now I didn't mind the little holes of the salt and pepper shaker. I didn't mind it. My crazy self would put salt and pepper and still keep the poinsettia flowers on there. I'm kind of kooky that way. But yeah, I didn't mind the little holes on his head. If you mind it, you might want to fill it in with something. So now I want the flowers to lay a little straighter, a little neater. So I do hot glue the base down a little bit with a little tiny dab of hot glue. And then I hot glue the middle flowers together so that it looks like a little mohawk tail. And you gotta let me know, which one do you like better? Squirrel A or squirrel B? Now this squirrel's eyes are so nice, but the first squirrel there has dead eyes. I don't know, but he's had a rough life, this squirrel. So my next step is just to fix his little eyeballs. Once I finish showing you his fluffy tail, this is the dead eyes right here. Now this one here seems to be more chipper about life, more merry. So I'm not gonna fuss with his eyes too much. But now I'm gonna take some black paint by Folk Art in the color Sequence Black, and I'm sequin black, and I'm just going to use my embossing tool to fix his eyeballs. And once I do that, this DIY is done. So all I did was I filled it in some more so that it didn't look, you know, just so he looks less bored with his life. And there he is on my tier tray. There they all are with their other little squirrel friend. Now this is part of the Christmas Decor Challenge hosted by 6 Kids and a Glue Gun and Mama Can Make It, as well as Crafty Cove and the Rusted Willow. So I will leave all their channels in the description box below. And this month their guest host is Maxine from Maxine Loves Crafts. So I'll also leave her channel in the description box below. And this whole playlist link will be in the description box as well. At the Dollar Tree, I got this little owl salt and pepper shaker, and I just decided to give him a paint job. This is a very simple DIY, but I feel like once I painted him, he just looked a lot better, in my opinion. I wanted him to resemble a snow owl, which I think are so beautiful. So I just took this chalk paint in the color sheepskin, And once I gave it 2 good coats, I went in with this folk color in cottage white and I lightly brushed it. And there he is on my tier tray. And I love him. I'm probably going to use him all winter long. The owl. Yes. Now for this last DIY, I just took some clothespins and I disassembled them. And then I hot glued them back together, but on the flat side. So I don't show you what I did there, but hopefully you understand that I hot glued them backwards. So the flat sides are hot glued together. Now I'm taking 2 of these and I'm hot gluing them on the pointy sides to make a V shape. So now I'm going to take some of these pine cones from the Dollar Tree, and they're really small. And I just wanted to make some kind of pine cone. I don't really want to call it a pine cone tree because it has a lot of elements on it, but I guess we can call it a pine cone tree, a forest floor tree. Everything from the forest floor will be on this DIY. And I really like how it came out, so I hope you like it. And if you do, let me know which one was your favorite DIY in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. So now I just took the tiniest pine cones I could find, and I put those along the top there of this little triangle structure. And I put a lot of hot glue. You have to put tons of hot glue. Now this kind of gave me a hard time because I thought that since the first one stuck nicely that, you know, this was gonna work great. But the more I added on hot glue and the more pine cones I added on, I can't even explain how much work this was. I'm not gonna lie to you, this was not easy. You need tons and tons, boatloads and boatloads of hot glue, and more patience than hot glue. Essentially, this entire structure is being held together by pure hot glue because I went through like 10 sticks of Gorilla hot glue. And even so, it just would not stay together, and I held it for a long time and I smushed it together a lot, and it was just really hard. So I just end up squishing it, as you can see, making sure that it can stand on its own. I didn't want to compromise the structure of the clothespins, but it was just hard to make this very stable. The pine cones just didn't want to stick, and the hot glue just didn't want to dry. It does come together eventually, but I just tied some twine to the center there to help it adhere. So I just tied some twine, as you can see, at the center there, and now I'm going to continue adding pine cones. For some reason, these pine cones worked a lot better. The silver ones on this garland worked a lot better. I'm not sure if maybe the silver paint helped them adhere. Can somebody let me know in the comments down below if you have any idea what happened here? Are pine cones usually this hard to adhere to something? I don't know. Just let me know in the comments below, because this was not easy, but it is one of my favorites. I like how it has all these different colors, and it has all these organic textures, and the berries from the berry pick. Yeah, so even though it gave me a hard time, I would definitely make it again. A masochist, I guess, because this was not easy, but it is pretty. Let me know if you think it's nice in the comments down below. And also, I want to know, what are you guys decorating your homes like for Christmas? Like, what are your favorite themes? Do you like woodland? Do you like buffalo check? Do you like reindeer? Do you like gingerbread? Oh, if you like gingerbread, I made a gingerbread video for my last Christmas video. And I can link that right here if you're interested in gingerbread. But yeah, after the berries, I added on some of the silver bells from Dollar Tree, the little tiny ones. And then I also added a little bit of greenery from the fern pick. It's like a frosted fern pick. I just cut it into little pieces and I put it randomly throughout the pine cones to kind of resemble like a Christmas tree. And then I added on those little pieces we pulled off from DIY number 1 from the poinsettias. And yeah, I really like it. I think it looks like the forest, like something you would find in the woods. So you gotta let me know, guys, which one was your favorite DIY today. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss a video. And thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you hit that notification bell, don't forget to hit all under notifications so you're always notified when I post a new video. And I thank you so much once again. And until next time, stay safe. God bless. Bye.